GM, and a very good day to everybody who has joined me today. And It's an amazing Wednesday. I'm just reaching like 9 p.m. here, broadcasting from the United Arab Emirates. Myself, I'm Crypto Dragonist, the community and marketing lead for uh, Nifty Dreams DAO. And Well, pardon me if you guys, my camera is switched off today because I'm not feeling very camera friendly. And I believe that there will be some other stuff that you can focus your visuals on, which is a little bit of whiteboarding or blackboarding session that we will be having. But I just want you guys to, drop in your GM, your hello, your wave, your emojis, or whatever it is right now. So I know that you guys are here. As always, Martin Raskovsky, I am in love with your name. Thank you so much for being here with me again. And we've got Sharmeta. Hi. Hello, GE. GE sounds like General Electric. I love that all you gang from Twitter Spaces actually just jumped in on YouTube. Appreciate it, much appreciated, and I will make sure that you do not regret it. We've got Chris Hammond over here as well. Morning, evening, afternoon. So GM, GE, GA. Thank you for joining, Chris. Means a lot to me and everyone else. If you would like to tweet this space out, then please do. You know what to do. So whether you want to share your YouTube link on Discord or on Twitter, or you want to share the Twitter Spaces link, I mean, you guys are veteran dreamers. You guys have been dreaming for the longest time. So, Martin with, okay, all right. So you have to say it with the accent, Martin, right? So yeah, you guys are veteran dreamers and you know where to find the link for everything to tweet out, but get the space out to many people out there, many artists out there, because we're going to speak about something interesting. All right, then. I hope everyone is not affected by the entire FTX shenanigans. But if you are, and if you do know someone who is, then I truly do feel for them, for you, and lots of positivity and love and good vibes from myself. It happens. The space is so young. The crypto space, the Web3 space is so new, and well, scams happen everywhere, right? Like banking, education, insurance. Like, oh, come on, like the scams everywhere. But it's just that since the Web3 and the crypto space is so new, we just haven't found like a way to circumvent that, and not many ways in how we can provide instantaneous help or support to people, or to like go after the bad guys, because we are kind of still in the we are cowboys in the space. So we're just cowboying around, which is a good thing and a bad thing, because we have the advantage of being here early, but we also have to bear a lot of pain. So I know Sharmeta was sharing on Twitter that she had quite a challenging start to the week, a little bit demotivated. So I hope you're feeling much better, Sharmeta. So let's jump right to it. Now, the reason why we are also on YouTube is because I want you guys to post as many comments and as answers, because if you do not interact with me, this doesn't work. I need to base my presentation on your answers. So you guys do your best and type things out, yeah? Okie dokie. All right, first things first, let's get this stream started. I've got it all set up for you. To be honest, I really, did not want to do it this way. I did not want to do it on Keynote as a presentation. I actually wanted to do it via my iPad, because iPad would allow me to then draw it with my, what do you call that? iPencil? iPen? Is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about, right? I wanted to actually use my iPencil to sketch out some things, to draw some things. Since I'm speaking to artists, I thought I could show off my lack of talent. But for some reason, I cannot share like the stream of the iPad or the app that I'm using on StreamYard. this is the platform that we are using to stream across platforms. So this platform we are using to stream Digital Pen. Digital Pen is a good name, yeah. Yeah, I know there's a lag when responding, Martin, but I'm just going to wait a few seconds and hopefully that's good. Digital Pen, the Digital Pen platform that whatever I'm using to sketch, it's not showing up when I'm trying to share the screen on YouTube. And I was trying to figure it out for like an hour, hour and a half. I downloaded some screen share softwares, and I'm not really happy with anything. So you guys have to make do with Keynote, which I don't think looks very, very bad, but I've tried my best over here. So first things first, let's go on to what we have been doing in the community and marketing front the past week, because I spoke to you gang last week. So this week, we have been again focusing on getting some content out there. So ShareMeta, as you know, is one of our contributors who helped out with the newsletter. And we had an amazing newsletter that got shipped out on Monday. And what was nice about this newsletter, I think maybe I should go ahead and share my screen, right? No, it's okay. You guys would have seen this newsletter, but it is pretty comprehensive. It has got everything that is currently happening with Nifty Dreams DAO. It does a snapshot of everything that happened the previous week. And if you do not know anything about Nifty Dreams at all, if you read this one newsletter, you get a bird's eye view of everything. And that is how we designed this newsletter, to tell you the whole story. So if you had missed Founders Town Hall, if you had missed Dreamer Download, if you had missed the various sessions, Discord sessions that we are having on our channels, if you had missed all of these things, you have been traveling, you have been busy with life, you have been busy doing whatever that you're doing, you read this newsletter and you still get to know what are the things that are happening. And I think that is super, super important. And I might as well just share the screen as well to show you guys like stuff that's going on with the newsletter. Just might as well, right? So give me a second while I pull that out. So we do a little scroll. Okay. Share screen. Go to Medium share. There we go. So this is our Medium newsletter. And I'm talking about this particular newsletter that we have right here, which is the piecing the puzzle. So the theme for last week was actually piecing the puzzle. Why? It's because our founder, Nick Kalyani, on his Founders Town Hall, was talking about how everything looks like bits and pieces in Nifty Dreams at the moment, but it's all part of a bigger puzzle. And everything is coming together really, really nicely. And this was why the theme. So every newsletter is going to have a theme. It's based on the theme of the week. So because he was talking about, the larger picture and getting everything as part of the puzzle. Hey, Braindian on Twitter Spaces. Nice to see you here. So that is why we have this theme. Now, what we talked about last week on the newsletter, I might as well give you a little roundup of it. We're talking about setting up an office in Dubai because we already have the Nifty Dreams DAO establishment incorporated officially. So this means that we can now have bank accounts and set up custodial wallets for our benefactors. So help us get some funds in, yeah? And I also want to, thank our core team members and community members who have been contributing towards like many tasks and activities happening across the guilds. So Addy is spearheading the benefactors drop, while unfortunately you've got me for marketing and community engagement. Yay, hooray. All right, so we also were talking about puzzles because we had a warm-up of the brand new puzzle that's happening, right? So the warm-up puzzle is basically where Nick shared a bunch of emojis and lots of people guessed, but then we finally had the right answer from Milan. And to be honest, I still have not deciphered this, like how this really works. So don't ask me. I'm not really a puzzle person. I'm a story person, not a puzzle person. So that was just a warm up, but we will actually be doing a proper launch of the puzzle very soon. We also have the Nifty Dreams Planner. So that's one more thing that you have to keep your eyes on. If you missed the newsletter, do not miss the Nifty Dreams Planner, because that planner gives you a bird's eye view of everything that's coming up. So you don't have to join calls. I mean, we would love you to join calls and all these presentations and AMAs. But if you don't, just go to niftyd.io/planner, which is a live spreadsheet. So all the guild leaders, so project guild leader, community guild leader, marketing guild leader, benefactors lead. So all of these people actually come together, and whenever they have got something interesting that's happening, or they're setting up an AMA, or they have a deadline, they plug it all in, so you know what's happening, and that's really important. We also have transitioned all our calls, so our not our private calls, but anything related to Nifty Dreams, our community and stand-up calls and project calls are all on Discord. So it's a great way for you to get acquainted with Discord. Come there, chat while listening to these calls. I don't think a lot of these calls where you can participate in them, but you can definitely listen in and be part of the entire building process, because we want things to be super transparent, right? Just a quick look at the Diverge project, where dreamers can actually become sneaker designers. And well, you know what? This is a great place because this is cool, right? I mean, you do your art, you download the template, and then you design your sneaker, you consign your art. When the judges select it, your art will come alive as sneakers, and people actually get to wear them. And every time people buy your sneaker, the art that you have drawn, that sneaker, you receive royalties. And that's brilliant, because this is kind of like lifetime income for you, which is so much better than actually, just depending on selling one-on-one art, or programmatically generated NFTs. This is like lifelong royalty for you. But I also want to, share the one second, this news with you, which is just came out today, or was it yesterday? Let's just look at the virtual sneaker that just came out like one day ago, 19 hours ago. So Nike plans to launch its first digital collection in 2023. And this is basically .swoosh, right? And we're talking about NFTs over here. So we're talking about really mainstream adoption. This is pretty kick-ass. This is mainstream adoption, because in 2019, guys, not last year, 2019, just not even the year before, they actually filed a patent to pair physical shoes with NFTs. So Nike basically had first mover advantage in this space. And then almost a year ago, they acquired Artifact. And now what has happened is they're going to get these sneakers in the metaverse. So Nike is going to let people design and sell sneakers for the metaverse. Oh my God. All right, let's just accept this. This is crazy. Are you guys seeing this? Well, if you are on Twitter Space, you can't see this, but come on to YouTube, and then I'm just sharing my screen right now. So the iconic brand's latest venture is a metaverse play called Swoosh, a Web3-enabled platform where people will be able to buy virtual products, essentially a marketplace. And Swoosh exists on a domain named Nike. And Swoosh is the home for Nike's virtual creations. Join us. This is crazy. This news just came out. And to be honest, we've got a bunch of brands who already have launched their digital merchandise. Givenchy, Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, and so on and so forth. But right now we have, just one more fact before I go back to our presentation. Nike acquired Artifact and made $3.1 million selling 600 pairs of CryptoKicks NFT sneakers in this year, a few months ago. So I actually made like $3.1 million selling those sneakers in the metaverse. And then there are still people arguing on whether, oh, is this metaverse thing, still going to exist, and is this a long-term thing, and people are they going to believe it, are they going to trust it, and blah blah blah. It is happening, and it's happening so beautifully. And that's why we've got the dreamer to sneaker designer project ourselves, which is Project Diverge. So we're going to launch that as well. Shout out to Alejandro, who is our project guild lead, for all the amazing work. We're also kind of shifting gears a little bit from selling the Nifty Dreams token, the Dreamer passes, to really getting on board benefactors, because capital is really important. And when we get capital, we can do so much more, right? So that is what we are doing. Of course, there was lots of announcements by our founder regarding the Nifty D token drop. And he also shared some interesting dates regarding that. So in about 4 days, we're going to have the snapshot of the Dreamer passes addresses. And then on 25th of November, exactly about 9 days from now, we'll release the final token airdrop list. 28th of November is your last chance to do edits. 3rd of December is the Nifty D token launch and airdrop. So hopefully we'll have a live Nifty D token launch in Dubai. And I'll be able to share some pictures from there because I'm in Dubai. And the Dreamer NFT pass burn process will happen in December. So lots of information about the benefactor mint pass, the Da Vinci Fund, artists, and they have signed their grant agreements. And we also did a Twitter thread, the entire Twitter thread, about the individual projects and the transaction link that confirms our funding. And of course, a snapshot of what I did in last week's Dreamer Download. We had some amazing Twitter spaces as well, collabs for Web3 creators, 5Cs for artists, and so on and so forth. So when I say that go through the newsletter and you basically know about everything that's happening, I mean exactly that. So please go ahead and share this newsletter with as many people as you can, because that's important. So more people can participate in the DAO, as well as understand what we are building over here. All right. Cool beans. Let's get into my presentation. I won't be taking too long, but other stuff that happened in the DAO last week is that we decided to release weekly infographics like that. I'm a big fan of storytelling. I did say that. I'm also a big fan of infographics because I think it just captures the message and takes it across to lots of people, even people who don't want to read newsletters. This is something that can be shared on Twitter and Instagram, and it instantly is eye-grabbing. So thanks to Noshad for getting this done. We work a lot on this. Like, it takes us hours to get this done, guys, and then to get this final product. But yeah, you kind of know the gist of this. We also worked on another infographic today. So this is for your eyes only. We have not released this yet, but I did talk about the Nifty D token drop and all these important markers, the important dates. So we made this into an infographic. So people who do not want to read paragraphs and a lot of stuff, you basically can see what's happening over here and go through the entire story. So I hope you guys like this infographic. Oh yeah, we've got Noshad over here. Hi, Noshad. And yeah, thank you so much. I really think it is super beautiful and it gets the message across. And I will be posting this tomorrow on Twitter. So make sure that you share this. All right. So that is all the stuff that happened the previous week in the DAO. 20 minutes has passed. So let me go to my presentation. The art of storytelling for artists. Artists are amazing. When I say artists, I talk about all creators. Let me change that, right? So it's not just traditional artists, but anybody who's creating, whether you're an animator, you're a photographer, whether you are somebody who is just writing, copywriting, uh, you are a journalist, you're all creators. the, but there's, I think generally you can agree with me that a lot of creators are great at selling other people's works, but they are not particularly comfortable sharing their own work. There might be two reasons for it, because selling itself is an art. um, that's why there are salespeople out there, and they are really brilliant at what they do. If you watch The Wolf of Wall Street, when Leonardo DiCaprio says, "Sell me this pen," um, or Jordan Belfort, right? He says, "Sell me this pen," and that's an art of selling something. And a lot of creators don't have it because it's an inherent skill. Now, the second thing is also because when we are growing up, people around us, our parents, and they're all well meaning people, but they say, do not be too braggadocious. Do not be so showy. Do not always talk about yourself. Do not always try to sell. It's annoying. Always be humble. Do not try to sell stuff. And so we believe them. So we're really bad at selling what we do, and telling people about what our talents are. Give me a thumbs up or give me a yes if you relate to this. Where people say that, hey, don't talk so much about your art. Don't talk about, yeah, yeah, I know you got an A, but don't brag about it. And people tell us that. And we believe that. So we don't actually hone our skills of storytelling or selling. But why do you think artists or creators should tell stories? Why should creators tell stories? Quickly plug it into the comments over here, or if you're in the Twitter space, what you can do is you can see that little chat icon on your space, and you can actually plug it over there as well, and I'll be able to see it. So however you like it, just plug it in over there, and yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know, why should creators tell stories? So it's a little bit of delay, yes. So I'm gonna give it at 30 seconds. Why should creators tell stories? Because, what do you think? Because stories, yeah, bring emotions. That's right. Because stories bring emotions. What else? Why do you think creators bring stories? To communicate and show engagement. All right. Let me give you a hint over here, okay? Why did our grandmothers tell stories to us? I don't think our grandmothers wanted to show engagement. Uh, so why is it that storytelling is so important? Let's talk about that. I love Radhika's answer. Stories add depth. Yeah, they add depth, dimension to things. So think about why our mothers and our grandmothers and grandfathers, let's not be sexist over here, our parents and our grandparents and our uncles, aunties, they told us stories. So they add depth and dimension, they add personal touch to anything. I think that was really important. So they can actually tell us like a bunch of stuff, and we would believe it. And maybe it's for us to have our meals quickly. Entertainment, yeah, that's right. To entertain people, that's a great answer. Entertainment is brilliant. To share ourselves with the world, to share our journeys, our stories with the world. So that's why it's important to tell stories, right? I mean, so many amazing reasons. And these are the reasons why, if you look at it, we remember some of these stories that our parents have told us. And these stories are important because they create this emotional connect. And emotional connects are important to motivate dreaming. I love that. Oh my God. What a great answer. So, to motivate dreaming. And And this is so, so important because that is why we love the people that we do. I mean, whether we remember these stories themselves, we actually remember the people who have shared these stories with us. And it's memory. It gives us a good feeling. It makes it relatable. It's easier to understand people, to understand where they're coming from. Because deep sea people are, inspiring us. And yeah, I know that's really cool. It's all part of, motivating and inspiring. I think I can add inspiring over here as well, because it comes under like Martin's answer over here. um, and this is basically the reason why we tell stories. Now, then, why should creators tell stories? I don't think the answers are very different, because our artwork represents us. But if we do not share the stories of these artworks, how are people going to emotionally connect with our artwork? How are they going to engage with it? How are they going to see the different dimensions of our artwork? How are they going to personally relate to it? How are they going to get entertained by our art, our creation? How are they going to understand our journeys? And how are they going to be motivated or inspired? So, this is why it's important for creators to tell stories. And really, I did not come up with these answers. You guys came up with these answers. And this is powerful, right? Because we are creators, we are artists. So we know in the back of our heads, we know, like within our soul, storytelling is so important. Then why is it that when we share our artwork on Twitter, a lot of artists only talk about why somebody should buy them? Why is it that we always see a lot of artists on the social media space saying, please get my art for 0.03 ETH today? I wonder who is going to buy my art. Why is it no one has bought my art last week? Why do we keep seeing these kind of posts? Why is there a lack of storytelling? I mean, that's good enough question for anybody to answer, right? And it's an important fact to think about. So let's take a couple of moments to think about that. Go through Twitter, look at NFT artists, and you would see how many people do not tell stories about their art. Rather, they only talk about how and why people should buy their art. These sound similar, like sharing my story about my art sounds very similar to telling people why you should buy my art, but both of these are very different. Always related back to the kind of stories you heard from your grandfather or your grandmother. Why you should eat this food is very different to hearing a story about how this food came to your plate, or hearing a story about how, it could be entertaining, or hearing a story that could add a lot of dimensions. If your grandmother or grandfather only told you stories about how why you should eat this food, you're probably going to be so bored as a kid and you wouldn't eat at all. Let's see. It is questionable. A story written next to a piece of art adds to the art understanding, or should the artwork should speak for itself? I think it depends on the artists. Yes, you are right, Martin. I agree with you. Again, it's for all of us to debate. You don't need to have the story written next to the piece of art, but I think as artists, we can tell our stories. And I'm not telling, and I'm not asking people to tell story about your artwork. I'm asking people to tell your story. I think that's the difference. You don't have to, some artworks you don't even have to describe anything. You don't have to write captions for anything. It's for anybody to interpret it, right? But you can always tell a story as a person, because I'm not buying the art. Funny enough, people do not buy the art a lot of the times. They actually buy what the artist has created. So your story is very important. We do not buy even if you look at shoes, right? If any other brand could be doing something like what Nike has done, no, we don't buy it because of that. We buy it because it's a Nike shoe a lot of the time. So even if you relate to brands, I think the branding is what important. So artists need to tell their stories. This is what I feel. All right, kick ass. Let's go to my next slide. So I told you I will share with you some of my drawing skills. This is supposed to be a brain. You can laugh. It's okay. It's fine. Uh, it is due to embarrassment that I've switched off my camera, so it's fine. You can laugh. Yeah. Does it look like a brain? Our story helps the collector know who we're buying from. Paramount for collectors to know that 100%. Martin and Sharmeta is saying there's difference definitely. Just telling who you are, where you've come from, and where you're going, what are your values, and what you're passionate about. Yeah, just who you are and where I've come from. It's not a story, but where I'm going, what my values are, and what I'm passionate about. That is storytelling. But let's go to storytelling then. So, what is good storytelling? Now, good storytelling has a lot of relevance. I mean, you look at some of the most amazing movies out there, right? We love the stories of movies, Hollywood movies, movies from all across the world. They actually tick all these points. Relevance, people relate to them, there's some sort of significance in their lives, they definitely invoke some sort of emotion. They are simple, they're very simple to understand. I mean, obviously, you've got some movies that are like, Inception, that are pretty complicated. But still, they do invoke like a lot of emotions, and there's a lot of like drama that's involved. There's a lot of immersiveness. So you get involved in the movie. I mean, what's the point of going to a cinema and then you're checking your phone all the time? That means the movie or the story hasn't done what it's supposed to do. You're distracted all the time. You might as well not go and watch the movie, right? And then there's a lot of drama that's involved as well. Hi to everyone on Twitter Space. We're doing a visual experience on YouTube, an immersive experience on YouTube. So you might want to come and join. But yeah, so it ticks all of these points over here. All right. Now I've drawn a beautiful brain here, and I'm also going to talk about what are some interesting elements that come with a good story. So your story is my story. One of the things that happens with great stories is when you tell your story, the listener actually turns your story in their head as their idea. So they instantly kind of connect with it and they relate to it. That makes it a good story. So they relate to it. And when they relate to your story, there are more chances of people actually buying into or understanding and being a fan of what you had produced, because they relate and they connect. It's like, wow, Martin's story is like, Martin as an artist reminds me so much of myself. Sharemata's story is amazing. I mean, I remember this thing that happened to me, and this is so that's the relatability and the connectivity, right? And yeah, that's the number one thing. The second thing is, if you look at some of the greatest stories, mirroring happens. So it's very similar to point number one, but the listener feels for your story and you. So yeah, thanks, Martin. I love my brain drawing. So the mirroring happens where a listener feels for your story. So when you're telling the story and you're watching a film, you actually cry for the character. The character isn't like right next to you, but you still watch it and you still read something, and then there's a tear that comes out, or you laugh, or you smile. So great storytelling actually invokes emotions, and the person feels for you as an artist as well as your story. The third thing is dopamine. I think Sharmata would know a lot about it because she does a lot of work when it comes to our feelings and a lot of coaching and therapy, etc. But emotionally charged story makes it easier for the listener to remember your story. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes you don't even like remember the story per se, but definitely if you're emotionally charged when reading something or listening to something, you relate to the artist or relate to the person you told the story. There's trust that builds, and when emotions and trust comes together, you have like the dopamine that comes out of your brain, and that creates a feel good feeling. and you get more connected to the story. Now, the fourth one is a well told story engages multiple parts of the brain, become immersive. It's not just, your feel good senses that they light up. Your memory senses light up as well, and you feel good. You want to share the story with other people, and you almost could, sometimes smell something. You could taste something even while reading it. And this is the truth. Like right now, I can ask you guys to close your eyes and oh, you know what? Let's do this activity. Close your oh, if you're driving, please don't do that. But if not, if it's safe to do so, why don't you guys like go ahead and close your eyes and imagine on both your hands you're holding a lemon. All right, now rub the lemon in your palms, hold the lemon, and then bring the lemon close to your nose and smell it. A deep inhale. Yeah, now put the lemon down, cut it in half, and then look at the juiciness, like squeeze it a little bit and just see the juice that comes out of the lemon. uh, and look at these, the little sacks, the beautiful yellowy amazing freshness of the lemon. Now take the lemon and put it in your mouth, and I want you to take a bite of the lemon. Just take a bite while squeezing the lemon. And if you had done this exercise right, like 100% that your mouth would be salivating this moment. There'll be a lot of juiciness in your mouth. And I did not give you bitter. Yeah, bitter, sour. I did not give you the lemon. You're not holding a real lemon in your hands unless you are. But just hearing about the lemon and just feeling it, it actually invokes a lot of emotions in you, whether it's the taste or whether it's the smell or whether it's the feeling of the lemon peel, the skin. And a good story is actually able to do that, activate and engage multiple parts of your brain. All right. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, go ahead. And or if you don't want to, because I mean the brain is a beautiful thing of its own, but yeah, you can always rewatch the YouTube later. Right, cool, cool beans. Shamida felt the smell and got a thumbs up from Noshat. And Martin says it's bitter. So yeah, the next time you write your story, it actually, one of the tips that I can give is tell it to someone else. When you're writing a story about your artwork, tell it to someone else, see how they react, and then post the caption. Um, that could be a that could be a mint the brain. That could be, hi Frankie, a good exercise to do. All right, let's go to the next slide because I want to give some time to for you guys to ask some questions as well. All right, more artwork, more stuff to mint. Don't worry about minting the brain, Martin. I've got more art that I drew today. And now is Pictionary time. I want you guys to guess what are all these little things that I've drawn. Okay, shall we go from this thing over here? What do you think this thing is? Can you see my mouse? Yeah. So if you followed all of these steps, you would be able to come up with a story with all of these things. So what is this first thing that you see over here? I've got a collection to mint. I do, Martin. I'm an artist wannabe. So what do you think this first thing over here is? Is it a balloon? Is it a clown's hat? What is it? What do you think it signifies? Is it my art that bad that you guys can't guess it? You know which one I'm talking about, right? I'm actually talking about, I'm going to hide everything else. Okay. So you know which one I'm talking about. Oh, there we go. So I'm talking about that thing here, this thing. What do you think this is? Speaker. Yeah. Martin says, what? No, Martin, you guessed everything. Wait, no, I'm not bring. I'm gonna put speaker. Yeah. Frankie says it's a megaphone. Woohoo! Shamita says it's something to do with the voice. Right. Let's see who has the right answer. It's your calling. Yeah, it is a megaphone, by the way. Frankie, you're right. It's a megaphone. Yeah. And make sure that when you tell a story about your art, one of the things that you include over there is your calling. That means, why did you become an artist? Go back to the time. This is very, very important, guys. This is like super, super important. This is you going back to history, going back to when you were a child, going back to when you were a teenager, going back to, yes, it is. Voice is close to calling. That's right. Going back to when the first time you decided you are going to be an artist. Why did you become an artist? I mean, you could have been a million other things. Maybe you are a million other things, but why do you call yourself an artist? Tell us that. Tell us that on Twitter. Include that in your artist story. Include your calling in your artist story. All right? This is super important. That's number one. Okay, let's go to my second picture over here. Oh, hang on. Okay, this is tricky. Let's go this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This one. What do you think this is? Martin said it was a Supergirl. But what does it mean in this context of storytelling? Why did I put a Supergirl over there? See, my art is not so bad. Like Martin guessed it was a Supergirl. I'm super proud of myself. Why did I put a Supergirl over there? Like, what does it stand for? What has it got to do with being an artist? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Waiting for your answers. While I'm waiting for your answers, I will read Sharmata's comment. Why is the most important in everything we do? Lots of people know what and how to do, but less know why. Yeah, what was your calling? Supergirl means the artist, okay? Yeah. Supergirl shows the strength. Yeah, almost. Supergirl means confidence. Woof, love that. I love that. What is it? Let's look at it. Supergirl means your hero moment. So when I talk about, it's all correct. You guys like guessed it correctly. It's about your strength. It's about you being the artist, and it's about your confidence, right? So first you answered your calling, like why? What was that moment that you became the artist, your calling? The second thing is, what was your hero moment? Like, has there been something that you had achieved um, as an artist that was big for someone else? What do superheroes do? They create an impact, right? They create an impact. They save lives. They make a difference. They make a difference. I think more important, whether they save lives or not, they actually make a difference, and you need confidence to make the difference. So think about that one instance where your art made a difference. How did your art make a difference? Guys, what I'm saying is so, so important, because if you write all these down, whether you write a story for yourself or not, when you look at these answers on an everyday basis, even on the days where you feel a little demotivated, even on the days that you feel not so good. And those days happen to all of us, right? Even on those mornings where you feel like, oh my God, my art, is it going to be a successful career? Am I going to be a good artist? Even on days where you doubt yourself, you look at these answers, and that will take away all doubt. That will shut down the voice in your head. Think of the moment where your art created a difference in somebody's life. And I want you to put it right here in the comment right now. Think of at least you must have had multiple moments. I mean, come on. Like, do not be shy. Think of that one moment where it made a difference in somebody else's life and someone said, Martin, wow, your art made me think about this. Sharmeta, wow, your art actually, made my day brighter. Frankie, wow, your art actually made me smile today. I mean, I was having a bad effing day and your art made me smile. Think of that moment where your art created a difference. When my piece created an emotion in an observer, my piece became an art and I became an artist. Yeah, that's both your calling and your superhero moment. When it created an emotion in somebody, correct? And that was probably like the first time you decided that you're an artist. That's important. I'm gonna go on with the other stuff while you guys drop some answers for me over here or write it down on a piece of paper. Maybe you don't want to share it in public. That's okay as well. It's entirely up to you. Let's go to my third amazing picture. All right. Uh, where is it? Yeah, it's this one. What do you think this is? What did Martin say earlier? He had this long story. Jumping a wall. Yeah, Martin says this is a wall. What do you think this thing is, guys? Um, yeah, let's just go with wall, shall we? Because we are running out of time. Let's just go with the wall. Yeah, it is a wall. But then it's a broken wall. It's like hit by a lightning or something like that. And then I put an arrow over here. So like jumping over, which actually signifies obstacles. Because you might be an artist and then there's a wall exhibition wall where artists show their pieces. No, it's not. It's a broken. I mean, oh yeah, you can. I guess it looks like a Berlin Wall. Like, I guess people actually did a lot of art on the Berlin Wall as well. But yeah, it's actually to signify obstacle. When you are telling your artist story, talk about your obstacle because people could relate to that obstacle. Where was that moment that you felt like you were not going to be an artist anymore, or there was a challenge of you becoming an artist, and how did you overcome that? Include that in your personal story, include that in your artist story. That's super powerful because if you look at all these amazing movies, there always is some sort of an obstacle and how the protagonist actually goes over that obstacle. And I think that is exactly what makes us interested in that film and follow that film because we want to know how that person actually moved through that challenge or the obstacle because we relate to that person. And then when that person actually moves through the obstacle, it feels like we actually moved through that obstacle. We relate to it so much and we celebrate it, and then emotions come out, right? So tell me the story of that obstacle that you had as an artist. Tell me that story in your I thought there was a book and a page over. Yeah, Frankie, you might probably think that way because we're looking at sharing a screen and you're not looking at it in high definition. There's nothing wrong with my art. It's just about the screen sharing is not right. It's too small. That's why. But yeah, going back to what we were talking about, when you're writing your artist story, do talk about the obstacle that you had to overcome. All right, and you guys are just answering my previous question as well, which I love it. your hero moment, the moment that you made a difference in somebody's life. Just make this a little bit more specific. Like right now it's super generic. When I create art with symbolism and messages, someone is inspired and motivated. Don't leave it at someone. Um, Talk about who was inspired. I'm really looking at specifics over here. What makes a good story is specifics. It's not the generic. Talk about that moment in June 2015 when a 7-year-old girl looked at your art and said that she shared it with her friends and she got a lot of claps in school, or whatever it is. Or in May 2008, when you know did your artwork and somebody decided that self acceptance is the greatest thing, and that person was uh, an 18-year-old boy that I met on social media. Go super specific. Tell the specifics of the story, because this is important. Right, let's move on to the next one. Is this an artwork? Yes, it is. All right, guys. I mean, really, I'm not gonna ask you to guess this. Um, I'm not gonna ask you to guess what this is, because this is gonna be hard. But you can guess it if you want to. I mean, I'll be extremely surprised if somebody can guess what this is. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to try guessing this, while I go through comments and I go through some of your comments. My books inspired a lot of people in Georgia. Yeah, but again, Sharmeta, you're going generic here. Talk about one person. Make it believable. I would not like right now. I do believe you, but I really want to know who is that person. Tell me the story of like one person who you inspired with your book, and how did you inspire them. Like, do not go with generic messages, guys. Go specific. I'm going to say that over and over again until somebody gives me a specific story, because that's what's important. That's what sells the story. Is that a bogeyman? No, it's not a bogeyman. It's not Harry Potter hat as well. Actually, it's I know what the answer is. I'm just trying to explain it so that I don't know why I drew this. It's supposed to be ash, because I was trying to convey the message of rising from the ashes. So this is like ash, like something is burnt, it's ash, and it's rising from the ashes like a phoenix. But I don't know how to draw um, a phoenix, so I drew ash. Yeah, drawing a phoenix is probably going to take a very long time, and you wouldn't understand that either. But I said rising from the ashes because when you tell your artist story, you talked about your obstacle, like the challenge that you faced. No, that is not a phoenix, Martin. I said this was ashes. I did not try to draw a phoenix. I did not attempt to draw a phoenix. I would never do that. I'd never do that to you, Martin. This is a pile of ash, all right? So do also talk about, in your artist story, do talk about how did you overcome that challenge? What did you do to overcome that particular challenge? How did you rise from the ashes like a phoenix? Woo! So do talk about that in your artist story. All right, let me go on to the next one. Um, well, obviously, I know this is not a class on this is not sex education class, so this is not what you think it is. All right, let me put that straight, because I don't want you guys to start polluting the comments with answers related to any sex education class. But uh, this stands for your success. So talk about the moment where you thought your art was successful, where you were successful as an artist. And this has got nothing to do with when your art was sold. Nothing at all. Your art, you as an artist are not successful only when your art is sold. Okay? Delete that mindset. Your art can be a success with so many things. with the lives that you have touched, the stories that you have told, the mere fact that you minted your art, you shared your art, um, people liked your tweet, whether it's 2 likes or 5 likes or 100 likes, whatever that you have set for yourself as a milestone. What was your success? So let's go back to, our slide on why should creators tell stories: to bring emotions, to show engagement, to add depth and dimension, personal touch, to entertain others, to share our journeys, and to inspire and motivate others, right? And for you to bring all of these things together, make sure that your artist's story or your creator story has all of these elements. It's just 5 things. Make sure that it answers your calling. When did you decide to become an artist? So I'm going to write that down over here. Um, right. So let me put that. Why is it not letting me write for some reason? I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't want me to write over here. I'm not clicking. Ah, it's here. Sorry. So let me write that down. Da, 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 da. So your calling is, why did you become an artist? What's your calling? Talk about your challenge of becoming creator. Then talk about how you overcame that challenge, right? Talk about your success story, of course. Doesn't have to do with money, okay? And share your hero moment. How did your art make a difference? Cool. There we go. That's how you do it. That is how you do it. I would appreciate if you guys, want to go ahead and take a screenshot and share this on Twitter, under today's Twitter Spaces. I would really appreciate that, because this might actually help other artists, help other creators to tell their stories as well. And 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Um, so I don't think there's so much time for questions over here. But if you do want to ask questions, please go ahead and ask it. Like, address it to Nifty Dreams DAO, and I will share it there. Or come on Discord and ask your questions. Just address it to Crypto Dragonist, and I'll answer your questions. Um, or you want to share the questions over here in the next 1 minute, do so. Do so, and I'm here for the next 1 minute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sharmita. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. And I think more than anything, I really want to, say thanks to everybody for putting up with my artwork, and having fun with me this evening. I thoroughly enjoyed today's session. And please also let me know if you want more of such sessions happening. I think next week, on Dreamer Download, we're going to look at productivity. We're going to look at some productivity tools, because that's one of my other favorite things to talk about as well. How can you be in Web3, and what kind of like tools that you can make use of, so that you become more productive. You can work on a lot of stuff without having to burn yourself, or burn the midnight oil. What kind of tools that you can download and use on your phone and your computer, where you are able to do more things without working too hard. Let the technology work for you. So we'll talk about productivity tools next week's Dreamer Download. Thank you, Martin. I feel great. I feel great. I feel absolutely amazing. I just wasn't feeling very camera friendly because it's like 10 o'clock for me, and super late. I look sleepy. All right, and that's the top of the hour. Thank you very much for joining me. Hi, Dilek, you're the call. We were just wrapping up the session, so I'll see you in next week's Dreamer download. But you can always listen to this recording over here, or even better, go to YouTube and watch the video recording, because a lot of today's session was has to do with like video stuff, interactive, and whiteboarding stuff. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and share today's screenshots, and thanks, gang. See you next week, and see you on Discord. Meanwhile, bye bye. Bye bye.